Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video with ScooterPie666 and Onmyoji. Today, guess what? We are talking about speed pullers and speed boosters and speed reducers. Teams that help or Shikigami that help your team get the advantage by giving you the next turn or giving you the advantage in the turn advantage over the enemy team. Um, these Shigami are extremely useful. Where there's actually quite a few we're going to cover, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, if you are a fairly seasoned player, you're going to know probably all or most of these, but we're going to go into it. I'm going to start with the most popular ones first. Actually, I'm going to start with the pullers or the speed buffers first, okay? So, first one that almost everybody uses because easy to get a hold of and pretty effective is Yamasaki, okay? Yamasaki is very popular. Most people use at least at the beginning of the game, we're using double pull. We're starting to get away from that now with Higginbana getting introduced and some things going on. Double pull is starting to become less and less useful, but it is still currently at least somewhat viable. Okay, so why is she a puller? She is a puller right here because of this skill. Increases the move bar of all allies by 30%, and it costs 2 orbs. So everybody on your team on the move bar off to the side, she uses that, goes whoop, brings it right down, gets them real close. So, and she's real easy to get, real easy to skill up. So early game, essential, okay? You don't really need to bring her past G5. You can take her to G6 if you want to, but she does quite well at G5. I haven't bothered going any farther than that. Next, after, let me look at my list here. I'm getting old, so I had to write things down. Kamatachi. I don't know. Who knows if I say that right, but that's how I say it. Kamatachi. Anyways, Kamatachi is an SR, a little bit harder to get a hold of. You can do shard uh, zones. I think he's on, I forget where, but he does come up in shard zones quite frequently, so make sure you pay attention to that if you're trying to get him, wish for him. So with Kamatachi, he's a little bit harder to use. The big thing with him is his skill right here. Now, his skill costs 3 orbs, so it's a little bit more pricey to use too, okay? But he does raise the move bar after you hit level 3 on Brotherly Bond, okay? Excuse me. Now, a recommendation that you do not evolve him when you're trying to skill him up, because that just adds things that need to be skilled up, that unlocks this skill and increases the chance that the skill up will go into something else. Okay? So I recommend you do not evolve him until you get at least this level 3 here. Okay? You know, I just realized I haven't skilled up my Kamatachi all the way. Like, look at that. I can't believe that. I totally didn't even realize that. Wow. Anyways, so he's also very useful though because he not only increases the speed of your team, he also buffs your attack bonus. He gives you up to a 25% attack bonus, so that's something. Plus, he has a 10% chance of taking an extra turn, and then if you skill it all the way up, it goes to to 30%. So he can get really annoying too. And then if you put like, most people put Fortune Cat on him. But if you were late game, you could probably put Soul Taker on him and he could just take like all of the turns. It could get really annoying. It would be almost like, I can't think of the guy's name anymore. Oh well, ignore me. Ignore me. Alright, so anyways, he's the next one. He's really useful though. He buffs your whole team's move bar by 30% and their attack bar by up to 25%. But he's a little bit harder to use in the beginning. You gotta get him skilled up first. Alright, let's see. The other one that's really popular right now is somebody from a special event that you actually can't get right now, but you will. They did say that you were going to have another chance at it, and that is Maki. So keep an eye out whenever they release her again. You're going to want to jump on Maki. She's freaking pretty cool. Yeah, I say that too. I say she's really cool, and I haven't even used her. I know. I'm stupid. I should be using her, but okay. So why is she so good? Let's see. I believe it's this one. Okay, so this skill right here costs 2 orbs. Fully skilled up. She gives a 10% hit point, or no, it would be a, let's see, increase hit point recovery by 8%, so 8 and 16 would be 14. So a 24% hit point to all allies and a 25% move bar raise. So not only does she raise the move bar of all allies by 25%, but she also heals them by 24% of her hit points. So she's a hit point healer. She can be like frickin' crazy heal, okay? Seriously. A speed puller and a healer. That's pretty great, seriously. You can't go wrong with that. She could be a good support healer if you need to have a healer on your team. That's not quite covering it. And you also need a speed buffer. She could fill both roles. She could support heal and speed buff. That's huge. She's definitely pretty awesome. Next is, okay, this one's a little bit easier to get because he's actually available right now, but he is an SR. But most people don't think of him as a speed buffer even though he technically is. Maestro. That's right. You think, no, he's not a speed buffer. He only brings one ally a new turn. But that's not accurate. That is not accurate. He is a speed buffer. Let me show you. It's not that skill. That's his AoE attack. Maestro, let's see, he basically takes one ally, anyone you pick, and makes them have another turn right away. But if you max skill this, it also boosts all other allies' speed by 20. It raises their move bar by 20% is basically what that does. Okay. Yeah, that's not quite right. Because it's a speed raise of 20 is not the same as a 20% move bar raise. But it does increase their speed by 20. Okay. So that is technically a speed buffer. It's not quite the same effect, but it does make them move faster. And give somebody else on the team an extra turn right away. If you need somebody to be like, oh, if this guy could just go right now, he would win. And then you could do that. Excuse me. And then on top of that, this skill has a 20% chance of clearing the enemy's move bar, and a 20% chance plus effect hit of inflicting confuse. So he can also completely wipe out the enemy's move bar. Okay, if it hits and then has a 20% chance. Well, it's an AoE, so it hits everybody. But as long as they're not shielded. So he definitely has some speed things going on too. Next is Usagi. You can actually get Usagi occasionally randomly over here. If you come to summon and go to the shrine, like here, right here, you can get You can get Usagi by spending 200 tokens. But let's go over what Usagi does, because Usagi is technically a puller and something else. He's not, or she, I should say. I'm pretty sure Usagi is a she. He's not like a for sure puller. First, let's just go over this here. Usagi has a 40% chance of gaining 1 carrot, up to 4, when he takes damage. Multiple attack. So it AoE, like Otengo's 4 hit AoE would only trigger it once. And it's not triggered by Shiatsu's circuit. Also gains 2 carrots at the start of his turn. And oh, so it is a guy. Wow. Usagi's a guy, okay? He gains 2 carrots at the start of his turn and 1 carrot at the start of battle. So 1 carrot at the start of battle, 2 at the start of his turn, and then 1 for every time he takes damage. Each carrot increases his effect resistance by 20%. Carrots cannot be dispelled. And then at max level, each carrot or the chance of gaining a carrot. Okay, when he takes damage is 40%. Chance of gaining a carrot goes up to 60%, and each carrot raises the effect res by 40%. So 4 carrots times 40%, 160% effect res on top of his actual effect res. So have a blast trying to mess with him. Now, if you come over here and use this, it costs 2. Usagi consumes all of his carrots to dispel all paralyzing debuffs, freeze, daze, morph, and sleep on 1 random ally. Raise their move bar by 10%, doubled if the ally has any other debuffs. Each additional carrot consumed raises the move bar of an additional ally. So if Usagi has 4 carrots and removes the debuffs from whoever you needed it removed, let's just say somebody on your team was dazed and you needed that taken off and you used it and you had 4 carrots, everyone on the team would get their speed bar buffed. Because except for Usagi. So it would be everybody except for Usagi would get their speed bar buffed. Move bar raised by 30% at max level. And then if the one ally had other things, he would have his doubled. And it would be a 60% move bar raise. So Usagi is really useful if you have status effects to deal with, especially if they are stun or something like that. Paralyzing. Who is next? Oh, yes. The new one. Otsuki. Otsuki is new. New SR with the latest patch. Lots of people trying to get her. A few people I already seen using her because of Clear Moon skill. Osiki performs a dance to the moon, grants all allies moon blessing until her next turn. When blessed, all allies' speed is increased by 10, and your orb bar fills up by one extra slot at the end of each turn. The effect cannot be dispelled. So, what does that mean? Okay, the orb bar filling up by one extra slot. So, what that does not mean, I believe, is you get an extra orb. Okay? It means you get an extra orb bar. You know what I'm talking about? At the bottom of the screen, you have 8 little slots for orbs, and then underneath that, you have 8 little bars for orb bars. When that orb bar gets full, all 8 of those are full, then you get an orb. Or you get, what is it, like 4 orbs or 5 orbs, depending on what number's off to the side, right? So, what that means is usually every time you take one turn, every time each Shikigami takes a turn, it goes up by 1. So with her using this Moon Blessing, instead of going up by 1, it goes up by 2 every time somebody takes their turn, which will make it fill up double fast, which will then dump a large amount of orbs into your thing, and it's not quite the same. It's technically it's more useful than Zushiki if you think about it. When this is max skilled, okay. When this is max skilled, this is actually way more useful than Zushiki, because Zushiki, for one thing, he adds 3 orbs when he's skilled up, but he also spends like 20% of his health. He does that a few times, and all of a sudden he's about ready to die. You know, when you fight large bosses, if your healer isn't keeping up, depending on what healer you're using, Zashiki's hit points can get down there. Okay? So she doesn't have that problem. She just makes your move bar or your orb bar fill up faster, thereby dumping in 3 or 4 or 5 orbs to your team very quickly. On top of that, if you get her skilled up all the way, she will speed boost your team or anybody under the effect by 20 speed, a 20% attack boost, and after using this skill, she gains a buff that will negate one skill or soul effect: freeze, daze, sleep, morph, silence, taunt, confuse, or bind, thereby making her hard to CC. Pretty special, I would say. That makes her extremely annoying to deal with. You basically have to just kill her. Oh, and then she also, at the beginning of battle, fills up the orb bar, fully skilled up, by 4 slots, thereby making, she would be really useful with Fortune Cat. Let's just say it. She would be useful with Fortune Cat. She could probably provide all the orbs you need. So the last 2 people on my list, let's see here, are not orb or speed buffers. They are speed removers. Number 1, and probably the most popular, Ame-ona. Easy to get your hands on her, and she's extremely useful. She's really great in the Fire Rain team. In fact, the Fire Rain team doesn't work without her. So with this skill right here, max skilled, she has a 50% chance plus effect hit of slowing down all allies' speed by 10 for 2 turns. dispelling one of their buffs, and a 67% chance of dispelling up to 4 debuffs on all allies. That's a cleanser right there for you. And then, so max skilled, increase the enemy buff to be dispelled to 2. Chance of triggering slow 100% plus effect hit. And slow enhanced to 20. So she removes 20 of their speed. It's 100% plus effect hit. She removes enemy debuff and she removes enemy buffs and has a 67% chance of removing up to 4 debuffs on all allies. Holy balls, there's a cleanser for you. Onmyoji. Easy to get your hands on, easy as pie to skill up. No reason not to use her, especially early game. The last one on my list, I'm sure, I'm positive, some of you guys are probably screaming at me right now, "That's not the last one, you idiot! You're missing so-and-so, you're missing such and such." I am probably missing somebody. I know it. I know I'm probably missing somebody. But I can't think of who it would be, so we're just going to go look at the last one. And I'm sure you guys all know who it is, right? You know, since he's in our Shikigami. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Kamakoi. Kamakoi. Not that skill. Wait, it is that skill. Yeah, so it's because it's after he gets awakened. They're not going to show me what it was. They're not showing me what it is here. But after you awaken him, he gets an additional skill. Unfortunately, he's not in my list of people right now. I don't know why. I could have swore I had one locked, but he's gone. I must have had him not paying attention or something. But I want to say he removes, it's a speed decrease on all enemies by 20 speed? Or 20% move bar reduction. I don't remember which one it is, but it's very similar to what Onmyoji does without the cleanse. Okay? He does do damage though. It is an AoE damage attack. 87% of his attacks, 97, 107 if you skill him up all the way. So he does do damage and remove speed on the enemy. So that's all I've got. So for the most part, speed pullers are going to be more useful than speed removers, or speed buffers are more useful than speed debuffers, I guess. However, definitely I have seen some extremely great uses for Onmyoji and also for Kamakoi. In fact, I saw one video where somebody was using Kamakoi in a late game setup to... Who had that video up? Whose video was that? I think that was... Was that Stratus Gaming or was it Zaf? I think it was Stratus Gaming. Had a video up showcasing somebody using Kamakoi, Ushi no Taki, and Ibaraki Doji, and I forget who else was on the team. But it basically used Kamakoi to do damage to the 3 at the beginning, slow them down, and then that identified who of the enemy team was lowest health which then caused Ibaraki Doji to attack the lowest health monster and then crush the wave. It basically boiled down to Ibaraki needs somebody to deal a first wave of damage to show who is weakest, so when you have it on auto, he attacks the correct enemy. And of course, you've got to have a ton of crit damage. On Ibaraki, you probably need to have a soul set on a shadow soul set on Kamakui, and you got to have Ushinotake. I don't remember who was all in it. If you could probably find the video, but I think it was something like a 20-second Soul 10 run. Other than that, that's all I've got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it helps you out if you're new to the game. Please feel free to drop a comment down below if you have any questions or you have anything you'd like to say. I definitely would appreciate it. Also, feel free to subscribe. I like subscribers. I won't push you away. I promise. I won't. I won't do it. I won't like call you every night, hours and hours, just like stalking you. Be like, please be my friend. Please. I won't do that. I promise. I, I'm sorry, Fred. I didn't mean to. I mean it. Just come back. Just come back. I promise. I will be nice. I won't call you no more. Just come back. Alright, anyways. Peace out.